Let's review what we've learned so far. We've learned that indexes are critical to performance inside a database and inside MongoDB. We learned how to use the explain command to look at what the database is doing for any particular query in terms of how it's using its indexes. We've learned how to use the hint command to instruct the database to use a particular index for a query. And we've learned how to turn on profiling and look at the profiling information to figure out which of our queries are slow so that we can use the explain command, possibly use the hint command, possibly create new indexes. But if I want to look at the high level inside a program and figure out what it's doing, how would I do that? Now, we have some tools to do that, and I'm going to show those to you next. The first one I'd like to show you is Mongotop. The Mongotop is sort of named after the Unix top command. It's going to give you a high-level view of where Mongo is spending its time. And to show you how that could be interesting, let me bring you through a program, two programs that I wrote. The first program I call Stress Students. Now, Stress Students, which is right here, is a small program that connects to the database and is going to look up 1 million student records in my students collection. My students collection has no index, and this is going to be slow. So let's run that. Now here it is, chugging through these different student records. It looks like it's taking almost a second per record. And then in this window, I'm going to run Mongotop, and I'll run it every 3 seconds. Mongotop 3. Now let's look at that output together. I'm going to stop it. Now what it's saying is that, and I'm not sure exactly why it's above 3 seconds when the sampling interval is 3 seconds, but it's saying that all the time is spent in students in the students collection. Now notice this is a row for each collection that I guess that it's looking at, and this is great, right? Because at a high level, if I've got lots of collections, I want to know, well, where's the thing spending its time, and then it's telling me my read time and my write time, and it's very clearly dominated by time spent reading in the students collection. So that tells me that that's where I should look, right? And if I go through I have profiling turned on. If I went through the profiler, I would find there's a lot of slow queries, and that I could work on this right off the bat. Yeah, so let's look at a different program which should be running much more efficiently because it uses indexes, and see what results we get there. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to stop this program, and now I'm going to show you a very similar program called Stress Students 2.py. Now this connects to my School 2 database, and there's another students collection in there which also has 10 million records, but they're broken up slightly differently by class and student ID. And so as a result, I have to loop. But every one of these queries that looks up a student by its class ID is going to hit an index, because I have a student ID, class ID index on that collection, and it's nicely selective, and the student ID is right in there. So we should expect to get good performance from this program, and let's see what the results are when we run it. Well, I mean, the first thing to note is that it's just flying by, so you can just feel that it's running a lot more quickly through the database. But now I'm going to just run Mongotop and see for 3 seconds and see what it says. And it says that in the interval, 850 milliseconds of the 3 seconds, the 3,000 milliseconds, are spent in the School 2 students collection, and it's all in read. But that's only a small fraction of the sampling interval of 3 seconds. And what that would lead me to believe is that this thing is not even bound by its performance through Mongo. And if I look at the activity monitor on my Mac, and this is probably a little small for you to see, you can see that there's as much time spent in Python as there is in Mongo because of all the I/O and the loops in there. It's accessing Mongo very quickly, and this would tell me that this program is actually performing pretty well. Now, if I went and looked in the logs, in the profiling logs, I wouldn't see any slow queries because there really aren't any for this particular program. So that is Mongotop.